Right, so welcome back. Mutala Inusa is in the building.
Yes.
Captain in the building.
Captain of
I am here in the
now captain of our courtesy.
I want to record this very song for me. You know what? I want to pray so that it gives me inspiration.
Yeah, I know.
Today is Friday and the energy is at a different level.
I know you like Fridays.
Yeah.
Because
you
weekend
know
has
I like
come.
Friday.
I'm so excited. It's already
On Friday you'll be all moody and gloomy and all of that.
Which day is that?
On Monday.
On Monday.
On Friday then you are jumping all over the place. You see your
Well, he
life.
gets to rest.
You see your life.
Yes, you have to rest and
You see your life.
re-energize.
But on Monday too, you've rested the whole weekend, so you should be coming with energy. Yes.
Weekends are too short.
You have no idea.
Weekends are why? How many weekends? How many days do you want?
We need 3 days.
When Friday comes.
From who?
So from Thursday we begin our weekend, Thursday evening. So Friday, free bonto, Saturday,
okay.
Sunday.
Maybe we have to talk
Don't
to
worry,
God
you'll
and
get
plead
there.
with him.
Don't worry,
Give
you'll get
us
there.
a day,
When
nameless.
you become a millionaire, that one you can wake up on Monday morning and go and
your
play
own.
golf.
No, but you see,
You go and play
sometimes
golf.
that's when you don't even sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to add more.
And you
No,
want
when
to
you reach a
protect-
stage where your money is working
Working
for
for
you,
you.
you
Well.
can wake up on Monday morning, relax, go and play golf.
Soft life. That
Soft
is
life.
soft life.
Yeah, that's what they do. Don't worry,
it's
we'll get
always
there.
interesting on Fridays.
That one, yeah.
Yes.
I wanted
We will
to say
get there.
something, but it's okay. It's well to quit this job. But Captain, it's now time for court today.
Absolutely.
So, Mutala Yunusa, let's get into the issue, shall we? The ambulance case was called again.
Yes.
Where Richard Jacka is supposed to be
Continue with his
continuing
evidence.
with it. What happened to him?
So yesterday they had to adjourn the case because he wasn't present in court. The day before yesterday's sitting, the lawyers brought an excuse duty, but of course that doesn't pass for it. So he has to be in court yesterday. So yesterday when the case was called, he wasn't present. The parties had to meet Justice Lydia Osemafo in chambers, and after they agreed that they would come back on Tuesday. So that case yesterday was adjourned.
Okay. What about James Quayson's case
Absolutely.
yesterday?
We were also expecting the further cross-examination from lawyers in relation to this whole matter. The former director of Passport was expected, but we were told that the witness was indisposed.
Indisposed?
So that case also yesterday was
adjourned.
adjourned to be
Another adjournment.
23. Yes, it was also adjourned yesterday.
So, what about the case involving the former second lady
Was the businessman
and the
finally
robbery?
granted bail?
No, the bail was flatly declined. So yesterday
Why?
the lawyers moved the bail application and was of the considered view that look, the accused person have persons of substance who will stand as sureties. They'll make sure that he's in court every now and then. The prosecution opposed to that. And then the court, Justice Lydia Osemafo, looked at the situation and said, look, situations like that, you look at the charges, you look at the fact sheets, and then you have to weigh the option in the interest of the accused person and the
That's
general,
what was his name? The businessman.
Yahuza. Osmanu.
Okay.
Yeah, so you wait and then look at society's interests and the victims as well. So the
Victims like the second lady.
The second lady. So the court weigh the option and said, look, if you look at the gravity of the offense and the other victims who are part of it, the court is not convinced that when granted bail, he will avail himself to stand trial. The court make references to some other instances where accused persons were granted bail, and the first 2-3 days they were in court. Immediately the trial started, and they were looking at the evidence that were being alluded against them. They just had to run away. So the court said, as it stands, the court is not inclined to grant bail in his favor. So it's remanded into prison's custody, and this case will come back again on also to 25th of May.
Of May. Okay.
Okay,
And then
so-
jurors are on strike. Oh my
Why
God.
are jurors going on strike? They are supposed to come and sit and decide cases.
So so
What's happening
indictable
there?
cases, first degree felony cases, that the punishment are so huge. Sometimes some of these cases you don't give the power to the judge alone, one person. So the jurors have the opportunity to listen. Murder cases, treason, felony, among others. So you look at it, listen to all the evidence from all the parties, and at the end of the day, they are the one who decide whether the accused persons are guilty or not. They are saying that for the past 10 months, their arrears, allowances have not been owed. Yes, this is not the
Recently, the jurors have been complaining a lot.
February 20 last year, they called off one because they were giving some portion of it. And if you look at the letter that they've sent to the court manager and copied the judicial secretary and all the criminal courts, they indicated that they are owed February, and after February, they have paid March, April, May, June, then July. They owed July. So from July till now, and they were promised that by May it will be ready. I don't know, May is not ended yet, but they said that they have made the effort and they were told that there's no money. So for now, they are finding it difficult to commute from their home to court to come and attend the court proceedings.
So they won't sit unless they are paid.
Yes,
And
they
it's
won't come. So
obviously going to affect the cases.
Yes, yesterday all the indictable cases that the jury or the jurors were required, they didn't come. So they had to adjourn those cases.
Wow.
So that's how serious the issue. So the jurors, they are on strike in relation to allowances.
We also understand that the law house is nearing completion.
Yes. So the last update on this very law house, remember when the president was at was in Parliament to, as it were, a brief Parliament State of the Nation's address. He talked about the fact that in a few weeks' time, this very facility will be completed. Yesterday, this facility is just adjacent the law court complex. So yesterday I saw something very interesting. It's been labeled the law house. That's what you can see on your screen there. The law house. That's how beautiful it is looking. So that's an update on the law house facility. Now it is nearing completion, and in no time this very facility will become and to be the office complex for the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice. Absolutely.
So let's look at what's happening today. SNIT OBS case.
Yes, the SNIT OBS case is on. Yesterday it started, the investigator has started giving evidence for some time now. And yesterday he was in court to testify before Justice Henry Anthony Kofi. You expect that today he will continue again, and after the defense lawyers will subject him to cross-examination, and after that prosecution will close their case. It is the 10th witness that the prosecution is calling in relation to this matter. So at the end of this very one, the prosecution will close their case, and that will be half time. Then the court will have to assess all the evidence that have been adduced so far and determine whether there's a prima facie for which reason the accused persons will have to mount the witness box and open their defense. So that case is coming on today.
All right. So what else is coming? We understand there's going to be a swearing in of some GHOne SHS Justice Club by the Chief Justice. So what's up with that?
The Chief Justice is performing some very interesting function this in the afternoon. So as part of the Chief Justice monitoring mentorship exercise, which started sometime in 2008, and then it was sustained in 2016, and all about to equip and then ensure that young people are given the tool to understand their rights, to understand what they need to know, even to learn more about the judiciary. So on Monday, when the Chief Justice had the opportunity to address the Women Judges Conference, he made references to some interesting stories, persons who have had to go through difficulties, Kayaye, and some persons who, for one reason or the other, could not go to school. But along the line, they were able to help at the point in time. So the CJ made reference to a particular story which I would like to share with you. Very, very interesting. She said that, look, I began my address with a depressing story of Bintu and Ramatu. I conclude on a happy note with the story of Salah Abdu. In her words, I was once a head porter, popularly known as Kayaye. I come to Accra from Tamale in the northern region every vacation to engage in Kayaye business while in my first year of junior high school. Then fast forward, I dropped out of school during the second year of senior high school because I couldn't endure the stress any longer. So I fully joined the Kayaye business, and I was introduced to the Chief Justice Mentoring Program by Purim African Youth Platform. It gave me hope and really empowered me to go back to school. And what I can tell you, this very Salah Abdu is currently in the University of Ghana studying BSc and nursing and midwifery.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful stuff.
So it is based on this story, the motivation from Salah Abdu. The Chief Justice is saying that we are going to inaugurate this club. Senior high schools will be giving clubs. She has done one already, but today she'll be doing another one just to empower the girls in the school and then the youth in the school, so that they will also impact on the other members within the sector, so that in all, we are able to address issues or persons who have faced challenges in relation to their rights and what they need to know in relation to the law.
All right, Captain. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the duo.
That's Captain.
Absolutely.
Mutalainisa for bringing us Court today.
See you backstage.
Absolutely. Let's quickly take a look at our newspapers for this morning. And as always, on Fridays, we assemble journalists for their take on key national issues. This morning is no exception. We have on the studio, Mohammed is the managing editor for the Custodian newspaper. Wilberforce Asare is the political editor for Asasi Radio, and our very own Ibrahim Alasan, who is my boss as well. He's the head of political desk here at the EIB network. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Good to see you.
What's up for net to say?
It is well.
Yesterday it rained, also you didn't pray. You didn't pray hard, crowd. People's homes were flooded. Also for
It's a natural phenomenon.
Well, yes, I
but you know, as a religious country, we always pray against these things.
no.
You see
We
what
can't pray
happened in
against
Dubai?
rain.
Oh, but Dubai, it was artificial. It was artificial. This is a natural occurrence.
Artificial acid.
Oh, it was induced.
Oh, no, yeah,
it was induced.
They induce rain.
Yeah, it was induced.
But
But this one we've been forewarned by the Metro,
Kenya,
so
I
we
was
can
in- I
pray
was
to arrest the rains.
I was in Kenya just a few days ago, and the southern part of Kenya is dealing with rains and floods and all that kind of stuff. So
South Africa the same.
rain is important. The farmers are praying for rain. The people who manage Akozombo Dam are praying for
for more
rainwater
rain,
so
yeah.
that the dam doesn't collapse and all that. So we are saying rain is good. The only thing is that as a city, Greater Accra
Proper
region as a
planning.
city, we need to build our resilience. You know, there's in Parliament, there is actually a loan facility pending.
Yeah.
That is the reason why Parliament. One of the reasons why Parliament is resuming
reconvening.
today is to pass that bill so that resilient, Greater Accra resilient loan facility can be completed.
Yeah.
So we need to continue with the resilience. And as the city grows, as the city increases, new buildings coming up, new roads being constructed, various new things are happening. It increases the capacity of the city not to be resilient. And so you also have to be engineering the city
Right.
in terms of
that's Papanko.
the
Papanko.
No, that's SCC.
Kaswa SCC.
SCC.
Okay.
yes, in terms of the storm drainages and all those you need to engineer them. And so these kind of things, when we are this clearly demonstrating that we are not resilient, it is enough reason for us to continue with the project to make the city more resilient. And that's one of the things that we call for. So Parliament should do its part. The Ministry of Works and Housing should do their part.
And the citizens.
And the citizens should also do their part because this demonstrates that we are not resilient. You go and check and you see that there are some storm drains there that have been filled with refuse. And so storm water
and
like this
waterways
can't
that people
find
have
its
built
way.
on.
Yes.
Particular area, actually, it is now that they are building a storm
building
drain.
the storm
It is
drain.
now that it's being
So
constructed.
we need to continue the.
But how many? My challenge is how many years have people lived there? Why are we now constructing?
Look,
the
that is something, Lily. Look, this thing it's been there for all these years. MPP government, NDC government, all the governments have lived through this, and this is what we are facing. What is the planning? I was listening to you guys on radio, and I'm saying that look, there's a Minister of Works and Housing. There's how do you call it? Roads and highways. There is the Water and Sanitation Ministry. There is a local government ministry. So the assembly, the MC is in charge. All these years, what have all these people been doing about this? And it's been there. When you go to look, I saw an announcement a few days ago, and our old friend Elvis Dakon of the Final News was warning people that if you are on your way to Kaswa, better return because you may end up reaching there the following day.
And people did. People reached there the following day.
Somebody from my
So
office
that's-
left the office at 8 p.m.
That's
he
how-
got to the house at 2:30 a.m.
That's how
Will the person be able to come back to work? Productivity. is lost.
That's how bad it is. I've seen some storm drain being constructed right now, but how far is it going to go, and how fast will it be done?
It's a vulture
it's-
mentality.
it's-
It's a vulture mentality where, see, we are talking about this because it's just happened.
Niger.
Trust me, let the rainy season go away.
And we forget about it.
That's a vulture mentality.
By the way, there are MPs and ministers living in that area. How do you call it? The other side. What do you call it?
Botiano, and what have you. And people actually walked. Our colleague in the office, Noreen, had to trek that day, that fateful day, for miles.
From Malam Junction.
Yes, all the way to Isa. People were trekking to
Botiano. Look at that trotro.
You get the point.
That is
now, yesterday it happened again. Yeah, yesterday it happened again.
Exactly.
But Lily,
some of our colleagues had to sleep in the office.
Yes.
But Lily,
our director had to sleep in the office yesterday. He didn't go home.
Panini, yeah.
Lily, but we also, as Ghanaians, also have to be responsible. Look, I live in areas where, I've lived in areas where people will gather their refuse. They wait. Yeah. And when it starts raining, they pour all into the drains so that water will carry it away. We can't continue to live our lives this manner.
I think, finally on this, I think all of us need to draw a line in the sand and say, this is not a Kasua problem. This is a Cape Coast problem. This is a Takrady problem.
This is an Accra problem.
This is, no. So the point I'm making is the road is blocked whenever this happens. And it's affecting anybody going to Cape Coast, anybody going to Takrady, anybody going to even Côte d'Ivoire.
Yes.
So that's how we should look at this problem. If we limit it to Kasua, that is a Kasua.
No.
We are likely not to treat it with the urgency it requires.
It is.
Absolutely.
Let's ensure that we control the storm. We're going to talk about Gary. Yesterday, I was part of the committee, members of parliament that toured the project. One is at Alokos, Akwitima. There's one at Nima. And then, of course, the almighty destruction of the Odo.
Yes.
The Kolela.
Yes. You see, the issue is, you are talking of desilting. I say every year we have to desilt that place. Somebody was even saying that if we're able to do these our places very well, if you're able to desilt and make it very clean, how is it that we cannot have boats taking people to Kasua, anybody, the water there? People may, like Pantu, how do you call it? Ferries.
Yes.
Boats and then ferries.
Somebody suggested that one of the ways, I think it was Elvis Daku again.
Yes.
Is suggesting that one of the ways to deal with the traffic situation that is leading towards
Kasua and Winneba and all that place.
Either we are having a train
or a ferry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will take people
along the coast.
So that it's very easy. Ferries.
You know, there are people who live in New Jersey and they work in Manhattan.
Exactly.
They come to work by ferry because of the Hudson River.
Exactly.
So it takes away the traffic. So I know somebody like I think Ben Dochemalo.
Yes, Ben Dochemalo.
Ben Dochemalo lives in Jersey, but he works at the GHOne office in Manhattan for 2nd Street.
And he's able to commute every day.
Those kind of things. So there are dynamics, and it's all part of the resilience agenda. It's not something we can do immediately, but we need to start it. And I know we've started it. We need to continue it. We need to make it stronger so that in another 5 to 10 years, the city will be more resilient. No, there are a lot of resilient cities in the world, like New York City. It's very resilient, but we have seen New York City getting flooded. Last September, New York City got flooded. It
was heavily flooded.
Flooded. And for the city managers, it told them that, okay, we are resilient, but times have changed in terms of climate change and all those kind of things, telling us that we need to improve our resilience. So maybe there are some storm drains that may not be opened now. They have to open it and add it to the existing so that you become more resilient when there's... So there are a lot of resilient things we need to do. And
Ghanaians building, we're also building on waterways and all that. And Charlie, this country.
So finally, I was talking about the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project. So in 2019, $200 million was approved by Parliament for this. Like I mentioned, Aloboshi. There is a number of culverts, about 4 of them, being constructed by Memphis Construction. It's about 20% complete. There's one other, that's construction of storm drains and the inner city roads by First Sky Group. That's also close to 20% complete. There's activity taking place in Nima as well. Like I said, the almighty dredging of the Odo and then the Kole Lagoon. One went there yesterday for for the dredging, that has not taken place.
Yes, yes.
What is happening in Parliament is seeking for additional funding for the same project, $150 million. The minority had opposed this, and that's how come it was not approved at the last meeting. They argued that there's no accountability for the first $200 million that was approved. And so that's why some members of Parliament went round to find out what is the money being used for. So today, of course, it will come up in Parliament as whether the minority maintains its position or decides. And of course, he named other people as well. We'll have a day when this same Martin Amidu will petition this same president that he described in words unprintable in the Ejapa assessment verdict that he wrote. And he will go to the president and then forward the petition. And of course, the president will serve as a conveyor belt in this instant because that's what the Constitution dictates. It's just that there are many people who have wished that it become equitable. So whenever a petition is forwarded, so for instance, I've seen, I've heard Bakavomao talk about the petition they sent for the removal of GHOne Mensah over SAR and how it was treated. And they are putting that against how Martin Amidu's petition has been treated. H. Kwesi Prempeh, who wrote about this Martin Amidu petition, also talks about the expeditious transfer of the petition to the Chief Justice. See, people are allowed to read meanings, and you can't stop anybody from reading meanings. What I refuse to believe is that the president or anybody in government put Martin Amidu up to this. Martin Amidu is not somebody you can push around. What I see is a poisoned chalice that has been presented to the president by Martin Amidu. Because regardless of how this goes, the president, the perception, the image, they lose. The president, the government, regardless of how this goes.
How so? Okay,
so here's the thing. Worst case scenario for Kissi Jabin. The prima facie case is established. A 5-member committee is put up. They present their report, and the verdict is like that of Charlotte Osei. He should be booted out. Okay, he was fighting Akufo-Addo's appointees. So they had to find a way of removing him. And thus, he's gone.
They used Martin Amidu.
That's the point. That's the point. That's one. Two, or Martin Amidu was on his regular expedition. He's been written epistles almost every month. Strangely, when the Yoko versus OSP matter came up, we didn't hear from Martin Amidu.
I was actually surprised he was quiet on that issue.
Later did we know that he was indeed writing, but to a different quarters, rather than to the media and in the public space. Now,
he has a website. Always go there.
Yeah, but this petition was not on the website. It will have gone against.
This was straight to the president.
Yes, it ought to go to the president, locked, and then forwarded to the Chief Justice. The point I'm making is this: Martin Amidu was on his regular expedition, but the presidency in this government has been caught up in this. And like I said, per what will be perceived and how the narration will go, there is no win-win situation in this. Kissi Jabin has to defend himself, obviously. But is this exercise needful? Is this necessary? Because if this takes 6 months, it will be 6 months that could have been used in fighting corruption. If it takes 1 year.
But will that stop the office from functioning? No.
It will, my dear sister. We are in this country. When Charlotte Osei was an investigation, we all knew how that went and out. Even internally, nobody was respecting her and her orders. But people were very certain that she was on her way out. The point we're making is that, yes, we have processes. The processes have been triggered.
So you think it was unnecessary for Martin Amidu to bring this up?
I honestly believe so. Especially being the former occupant of this office. And the fact that...
occupant.
Yes, and the fact that from day one, you didn't even give the gentleman a dog chance. That's the point. See, if he had been that, Martin Amidu has sat back. Because, trust me, he recruited many of the people working in this office. He set up this office.
Yes.
So, will people inform him about what's happening in the office? Yes, they will.
Obviously.
So, but if he had sat back, without describing Kissi Jabin as a small boy who was incompetent, had been put there to do the bidding of government. And this had come.
Now this person who you say was doing the bidding of government is fighting, for want of a better word, fighting government.
Exactly.
Why are you now fighting him?
And now one of the cases cited, I was there with Wilberforce. I sat across.
That's the question even Ibrahim should be answering.
Yeah, I get
That's
you.
the question.
Yes, I get you.
Answering.
See, I sat directly in front of Kissi Jabin with Wilberforce Asare and a few others when he addressed the public through the media on the cases in court. I remember asking him that singular question as to why he will not seek audience with the Chief Justice. His answer, and I'm quoting him, was that he won't tell me and the public the strategy he's deploying. Guess what? A few weeks down the line, they had a meeting with the Chief Justice, and they had trashed these things out. A joint statement was issued. Martin Amidu cited this as one of the bases Kissi Jabin must be booted out. Can you imagine?
Lily, are we saying
Yes.
that because, or Ghanaians saying, Ghanaians like IB, saying that because SP is fighting government officials, if he's not done anything wrong, per the allegations of Martin Amidu, he will be removed from office?
No.
No, it's a simple question.
No. That's not
And
what
are
you're
we
saying.
also saying
Yeah.
that because he's fighting government officials, and therefore, if he's doing the wrong things, we should allow him to continue?
No, nobody's saying that.
So,
How many government officials is he fighting?
it's even one. It's even one. It's,
Beyond Cecilia Dapa.
who are
Oh
they?
no, beyond Cecilia Dapa, it's issued a number of.
To who? Which government official?
Oh,
Charles Bisiu.
was Charles Bisiu not
Which
a government
government
official?
official?
Yes, so I'm just asking. You see that we are struggling.
No.
Yes, on the top of our heads,
Was
yeah.
Professor Frimpong Boateng not a government official?
Oh,
They are-
But these are not
government
pending.
former government
They are
official.
That's the
former
point. That's why I said
government
was.
officials.
I use the word was.
No, but
So I'm
you-
only saying that the special prosecutor has, the last time he addressed the press about the state of affairs, he listed a number of cases
Exactly.
that he is either investigating, have investigated, and all that. So, for example, on Cecilia Dapa, after his own investigations, independent investigations of the special prosecutor, the guy says that I couldn't find any grounds on which to prosecute this Madam Cecilia Dapa on grounds of corruption and corruption-related offenses.
Yes.
The special prosecutor on his own says so. Nobody forced him.
Of course.
In fact, we all saw the Rambo-style things that were done, from going to her house, writing to seize her, freeze her bank accounts, and all those things. The special prosecutor did. Nobody stopped him. Nobody stopped him.
Nobody could have stopped.
Yeah,
him.
nobody could have stopped him.
Look.
And then on his own, he says that after I finished all this, including cross-border investigations with FBI, I mean cross-border, not in-border, cross-border. After all of that, the man himself says that I didn't find anything.
But I found.
What can you do?
I found another thing. And we were there. That's
he
why
says that
you see it will be
he
disingenuous to paint the picture as it's been painted. Because we're there. We ask questions
but
on this.
allow him land.
So I'm
No,
only
because
saying
he
that-
came in
Yes,
when I
I know.
was-
I came in to take his time.
Yeah, but I
I'm
want
only
him
saying
to-
that on his own. Now he says that when he finished with the investigation, he suspects that the issue is about
Money laundering.
Money laundering. So there's an institution that is responsible for investigating money laundering. So
Which is the
this is the docketo
Yeah.
institution. I cannot dictate for you, but I suspect. So take the docket and then see whether
Investigate.
my suspicion is anything to go by. The organization receives it and says that we've done our preliminary search based on our standards, standard operating procedures, and we cannot find anything. So they go to the advisory authority, which is the AG, and say that if you can advise us so that we know that maybe there's something we are missing, so we could correct it and then get in line. The AG also says that when they also look at the whole thing, they also don't find anything. So now it is two troubles, one God. Two troubles, one
No,
God.
I get you, Rev. But you see, yes, and to the point of the docket being transferred to Iyoko. Yes, that's true. But the OSP never said Iyoko should prosecute Sisiadapa. The OSP said, investigate suspicion of money laundering and structuring, because that's within your purview. The Iyoko boss has come out to tell us that no investigations were done. They just wrote to the AG.
To advise.
You write to the AG when you are prosecuting, to take advice, not when you are investigating. That's your mandate, your sole mandate. If we wanted the AG to investigate, we would have gone to the AG and asked the AG to investigate. As a nation, we say you investigate, and then you do nothing and write to the AG for advice.
No, so on that score, I think we need to, if you look at the statement the AG issued,
Yes.
The AG said that the Iyoko did an assessment of the docket.
That's no investigation.
Hold on. So you have
That's no investigation, my brother.
the docket. A docket. When you present a docket, the docket contains various things. There are times that the AG has asked for docket to be forwarded to it by the police to the AG's department. One of the cases, this same Sisiadapa case, the housemates, and then NAM1. So the police started the process. They forwarded the docket to the AG. Based on the docket the AG received, the AG sieves out the information and then is able to prepare a charge that is able to bring to the High Court. So if you look at these two cases I've mentioned, all of them have left the Circuit Court and have come to the High Court for purpose of prosecution. So it's the same thing with the Iyoko thing, the OSP docket. The OSP forwarded a docket. Now notice that the OSP had conducted investigations, including cross-border investigations with FBI. That cross-border investigation with the FBI, that report was not part of the docket. The Iyoko went to ask for it. That, I think that this money laundering thing, the cross-border investigation with FBI is very paramount. It could help us to establish evidence. So if you could furnish us with it, because it was not part of the docket. 6 months on, the OSP was not able to provide that cross-border investigations report. So the Iyoko is saying that based on the docket that you have brought us, which had statements taken from the Madam Sisiadapa, investigations conducted in bank accounts, freezing of bank accounts, all those kind of things. When we assess it, and assessing that docket amounts to an investigation. Nobody can tell me that assessing the docket is not an investigation. Besides, if the special prosecutor has used state resources to do investigations, including cross-border investigations, are you expecting Iyoko to also now start another cross-border investigation?
But no. that will help you determine whether there was money laundering or not.
I've been quiet for a long time. Look, I think we are moving away from the core issues.
No, but
I think we are moving away from, the core issues, the allegations that have been leveled against the SP. For instance, there have been allegations, we've spoken about procurement breaches. There have been allegations that this SP has procured vehicles, requested and procured vehicles for himself that are even more expensive than what our vice president is using, that are more expensive than what the chief justice is using, that are more expensive than even the attorney general, what the attorney general is using. All these allegations are the subject of what this man, Martin Hamidu, is calling for investigation. So these are the issues that, look, if it comes out that the allegations of these procurement breaches are not valid, the man will go scot-free. The man, nobody will be able to touch the man. But if he has really violated these breaches, procurement, if he has breached procurement processes, the man will face the law. That is what we should be talking about. This matter about the confusion between Office of the Special Prosecutor and Iyoko, you have used almost 1 year to do an investigation on somebody. You came out that what is you are mandated to do, you did not find it. That no corruption-related offenses against the lady. That you are not transferring the matter. You have suspicion of money laundering. During the investigation of the SP, there must be some evidence of money laundering before you come to that conclusion. For instance, have there been any money transferred from he went out to US to do the investigation? Has been any transfers from a particular account in United States to the accounts of in Ghana? It should be in your report. Have there been any transfer from Ghana to United States in any account? You will find all this.
But he says it is beyond him to investigate.
No.
He did cross-border investigations with FBI.
No, you have done that, and you must have this evidence to come to the conclusion that, to come to the conclusion that it's money laundering, suspected. So in that case, all these must be in your report. That will be forwarding to the.
So you think he presented
because you cannot say you suspect money laundering without these ingredients of money laundering.
That is what the AG's letter and Iyoko's communications with AGs depicts. It depicts that, in fact, what you brought to us
was empty.
Okay, so here's the thing, and this will be my final take on this. The OSP set out to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses. Let's just say murder. Now, it spent the resources and the time to investigate once again corruption and corruption-related offenses. Still, like I said, murder. Now, after concluding that investigation, he could not prove beyond reasonable doubt that there had been corruption and corruption-related offenses. The report the OSP will prepare is based on the suspicion of corruption and corruption-related offenses. That was the report Iyoko was asking for. Meanwhile, Iyoko was not supposed to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses. Let me see. You had your take. Let me finish. Let me finish.
You are misquoting Iyoko.
Me, I'm quoting Iyoko. I'm telling you OSP side of the story. You are telling me that I'm misquoting. I'm not quoting Iyoko. I'm not. So take your time and listen to me.
So you have transferred. Okay, you finish.
Let him land.
What was transferred to Iyoko had got nothing to do with corruption and corruption-related offenses. Because if it did, then OSP will have been reneging on its mandate. What had been transferred to Iyoko was money laundering and structuring.
Suspected.
So that's the point. So,
no what is the case on that?
Oh, hold on.
No evidence on that.
Oh, hold on. Witness statement of 25 people. Witness statement. 25 people forwarded to Iyoko. What Iyoko could have done is to just trace the money. When you talk about money laundering and structuring, you just trace the money from this account to that account, from this account to that. We've done all that. We've come to the firm conclusion that there is no any suspicion of money laundering. Then we will say that, Tiwa, you have worked, and you have shown us evidence that you have worked. So clear the woman.
But didn't Iyoko,
they didn't do that. That's the point.
No, but in the communique, Iyoko said, OSP, okay, you want me to investigate this. You brought me a docket, but there's nothing in there.
Witness statement of 25 people. You can't track that? Is that what you are telling us?
So what does the witness statement say? The witness statements that was presented, the witness statements were taken by the OSP.
Exactly.
Yes. And it was taken by the OSP because it was investigating corruption and
that one was related. The witness statement will be based on what they said that will be related to
the
money laundering and structuring suspicion.
So in their investigation,
yes,
to ascertain whether there were corruption-related offenses or corruption.
Yes, they had people say that.
These issues.
And they border on structuring and money laundering.
Now these issues, according to the OSP, amounts to suspected case.
You know what? We haven't seen
the statements. Okay.
Have you seen them? As we speak today.
Have you seen them?
Have you seen them?
No, I haven't.
Yes. So we haven't seen. We don't know what is written in what the witnesses wrote. So we cannot conclude that the witnesses provided evidence of money laundering.
That's what the Iyoko was supposed to do. And come and tell us in detail. What Iyoko has told us is what the AG's advice was. That's not what Iyoko was asked to do. Iyoko was asked to get down there and get their hands dirty.
Okay.
And give us a report of his work.
Iyoko says
what grounds are you giving Iyoko
That's the point. That's what we are here talking about. That 25 witnesses.
Iyoko says that the docket that you brought, they have assessed the docket. Does it mean anything that Iyoko, that establishment there, with the record that they have, Iyoko, as we speak today, is investigating and prosecuting several hundreds of people on issues of money laundering and economic crimes.
And prosecuting.
Several of them. If you go to the High Court now, Iyoko is prosecuting several people. At least I know not less than 10 prosecutions that are ongoing related to, that is what I even know, the ones I don't know. So I'm just saying that kind of establishment, you bring them a docket, 25 witness statements. Why if the cross-border one, it was not part of it. But all those things that you brought, Iyoko says we have assessed it. When we assessed it, we don't see any pointers that directs us to go and do to pursue money laundering charges.
And that's why we disagree. And there are many in fact, some lawyers have even elected to help Iyoko. Martin Pebu, for instance, is saying that if Iyoko wants, because this is open and close. See, when you talk about money laundering and structuring, Lily, you follow the money. From which account to which account? That is it.
So let me ask.
So we are allowed to disagree. And me, I disagree. I think Iyoko did a shoddy job, and I'll maintain they did a shoddy job. It's as simple as that.
I'm taking this info.
No, don't worry, me, I'm done.
Your job, Lily. I'm asking you. Yeah. Are you saying that SP, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, provided evidence of money transfers, people, how monies have been structured, and all the evidence has been given to Iyoko? Is that what you are telling me? Because you said they interviewed more than 25 people. And all this information is captured in the report and given to Iyoko. Is that what you are telling me?
If the OSP had done that, the office says we won't even be here because the case will have been thrown out. Because it's not within the OSP's work to do that.
Before you come to a conclusion that this money laundering or structuring, there must be some evidence.
That's why.
What is the evidence that SP or ASP is providing?
But the SP or the office lacks the mandate
to investigate that.
But in our question or in our investigation, we are sensing money laundering. But we do not have the mandate to investigate.
So you investigate.
You have the mandate. Investigate what we are sensing.
I sit here as I sit here. I say that I suspect IB to be
a cocaine dealer.
Yes, you are allowed to suspect.
I'm coming. And you, Lily, you are supposed to investigate cocaine dealing.
Yes.
And I say that, I'm telling you, Lily, that I suspect this man to be a cocaine dealer. Based on what am I giving you that suspicion?
That's her work.
And
so she has what it takes to find out.
I'm coming. So because I said you are a cocaine dealer, I do not provide any iota of evidence that you are a cocaine dealer. Then you are, Lily, because it's your duty, then you should go into a fishing expedition. If that were to be the case, everybody, there will be millions of allegations against people, and Iyoko will be forced to follow those allegations. I cannot accuse somebody without giving evidence. Today, I will put in my paper.
But they are quick to throw whatever the OSP has
done. No, I am not.
That's what you're doing. You are saying that the OSP did a shoddy job, but Iyoko did a brilliant job.
No, I didn't.
No, that's what's happening.
I have not concluded that. I have not. Will you allow me?
Yes, we cannot trust OSP.
I am coming to Iyoko.
Okay. Let me allow him.
If Iyoko has received such evidence from about the 25, because they are claiming it on radio. I have our own colleague, former colleague, claiming that they have interviewed more than 25 people about all these matters, money structure, everything.
Yeah.
If they are saying that they have given such information to Iyoko, and Iyoko should tell Ghanaians whether this information is given to the office, and yet they are not following the leads. If this information is given to Iyoko and they are not following, then we all blame Iyoko for sleeping on their job. But if there's nothing, if it were just to be that I suspect money laundering and therefore Iyoko should go. Look, tomorrow I will make allegations against millions of Ghanaians, as even especially politicians, and ask Iyoko. Of course, if I look at your living
defamation,
you know
you will be sued for defamation.
You think that Iyoko?
You know the people that I would have chosen.
What kind of expedition
to make accusations against the presidential candidates? So they all get investigated and stuff.
Where are they getting their money from?
I
suspect money laundering because
the campaign money, the way he's using the campaign.
You are looking at presidential. I'll be looking at MPs.
So you know, for me, quite frankly, it is not. We don't have to simplify some of these things when they come up. When we simplify them, then we make it look like somebody hasn't done a good job, somebody has done a good job, somebody didn't do their work and all that. For me, and I will say it again, that it is instructive that Iyoko says that we needed the cross-border investigations that special prosecutor did with the FBI. The FBI is the Federal Bureau of Investigations in the United States. And based on the fact that they were suspecting that monies had been transferred from the US to Ghana
and Ghana
to the US, and that is where the money laundering aspect comes in.
Yes.
And again, in money laundering, the few cases I've witnessed being prosecuted in the courts, which involves charges of money laundering, there is always a predicate offense. Then money laundering comes in as a support. So the person must have done a certain kind of offense. So, for example, the charges that were leveled against Atu Essien. Atu Essien was charged with various offenses, including causing financial loss and misappropriating and stealing and all that. And then attached to it was the offense of money laundering. I haven't seen anybody who has been charged all by itself money laundering. All the charges usually come with certain offense, and then money laundering is attached to it. So for me, quite frankly, this forwarding of docket to Yoko, the special prosecutor should have forwarded it to the Aegis department. Then the Aegis department would have investigated a predicate offense. And then based on that, when they charge you for the predicate offense, then they can add the charge of money laundering, because first of all, there must be that offense established. And it was when you were carrying out that offense that you ended up
laundering money
or
structuring money.
Absolutely.
So, the whole thing, if you look at it quite frankly, the special
I like the way
the whole thing, no.
I like the way Brian laughing.
I wanted to add something Ghana to it.
Yeah,
Don't worry. Ibrahim can help with the Ghana. Ibrahim is a real Ghanaian.
Interesting.
But we'll take a quick break here. When we return, we'll touch on city depreciation and then the nursing trainee allowances. We are hoping that by now it has hit the accounts of the
AI.
Oh,
we'll touch on AI
if we have enough time, we'll touch on fighting Galamsey with AI. Even with yesterday, I was discussing tech with that. AI is failing in some aspects, and I want to. Well, maybe we can trust it. We are back shortly. Welcome back from that break. This is still the Breakfast Review. It's the weekly review of all the issues that are happening in our dear country, Ghana. Audu Mahama is the managing editor of the custodian newspaper. Wilberforce Asari is the political editor for Asasi Radio, and our very own Ibrahim Alasan is the head of political desk here. We've been going at the petition by the former OSP against his successor, and then the issues of OSP and then Yoko. Now let's move away from the issues of law and come to the issues of our economy. The city is gradually sinking. Let me see, it has sunk to the floor. Because because if we are almost at 15 cities, I mean, this and businesses are already complaining. The Ghana Union of Traders Association has come out, AGI has come out, and not just them. These are people who even belong to the umbrella bodies. But we are journalists. In our reports out there, we've interviewed people, even retailers, who are even reeling from the effect of the city's continuous depreciation. Audu, let me start with you.
Lily, it's terrible. Look, I think something has to be done to curb the rising depreciation of the city. It is as I always say, it's in government's own interest to do so. Look, businesses today, if you are, because of this, fuel prices have gone up, transportation fares have gone up, prices of goods and services will go up, and all that. And already Ghanaians are facing financial economic challenges. So I think that everything will have to be done to tame the fast depreciation of the city. Government will have to do something about it. When then running mate Baumia said, if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. He repeated it recently. People think that he said it because MPP was in opposition. But the fact of the matter is if the economic fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will actually expose you. This clearly shows that our fundamentals are weak and fragile. Look, we have an economy where all the expatriates, all the companies that are here, by this time are repatriating dollars to their mother companies out of the country. Because we don't owe the majority of the production, the line of production in this country. Yeah. And therefore, whatever is produced, whatever is gotten, the multinational companies that are here are repatriating the dollars. And the dollars don't come from anywhere. They have to be taken out of this country. That's number one. We are importing goods into this country with dollars, hard-earned money, because we are not able to produce those goods to feed ourselves. And therefore, we are all the inflation and everything is imported inflation. And even this exchange rating is induced, imported, because we imported many of the things that we need in this country. We can only reverse this situation if we are able to turn our economy around to ensure that we are producing the goods that we need, we are consuming the goods that we produce, and therefore we don't need such money to produce such goods into this country. We have said many times in this country, especially on this platform, I do not see why with the type of land that we have in this country, we cannot produce as a country rice to feed ourselves. And yet we use millions of dollars, hundreds or billions of dollars to import rice into this country. That's number one. We are producing, we have the capacity to produce chicken for our own consumption. And yet we are importing rotten chicken into this country with hard-earned currency, dollars into this country. Why will governments not sit there and say that we are looking at poultry, producers of poultry? What do you need to be able to make sure that Ghana is self-sufficient in terms of chicken? What do you need? And how, when they give you the figures that they need, you meet them and give them timelines. This is what we want you to produce. And if we are able to do that, you will see that Ghana will have capacity to produce for us, the same like the rice producers. If we don't do this and we continue, no government, I tell you, no government, especially with what has hit the countries globally. Every country is actually suffering in terms of its currency depreciation and inflation. If we are not able to produce ourselves, look, no government will be able to reverse this. So what the political parties should be telling Ghanaians, how they are able to ensure that we produce domestically to feed ourselves so that we don't depend on foreign goods to exist. If we continue to depend on foreign goods, we will live to regret this situation all the time. This government has started one district, one factory. It is supposed to produce the goods, some of the goods that we need in this country. But how far are they able to produce those goods? What is the support given to them? If they support, how is the market like? The goods that they are producing, are we patronizing those goods? That's one thing. They have been planting for food and jobs. I have said that was a brilliant idea. But the way it was implemented, I had serious challenges with it. Look, we did it in a manner that, look, we were giving subsidies to farmers and all that, giving them money and all that. But you see, if we want to succeed in planting for food and jobs, we have to look at irrigation. We can't be... our farming should not depend on rainfall all the time. Are we looking at irrigation? Are we looking at the equipment that the farmers use to make to produce for this country. Those of you who have made United States your homes, United States, less than. No, I said those of less than.
Why are you pointing?
Less than.
You should be pointing.
And they say less than 3% of farmers in the U.S. produce for the whole country and even in the world. We have in this country more than 80% of people engaged in farming, and yet we are not able to feed ourselves. We must question our mode of agriculture, how we are producing in this country.
I think we are able to feed ourselves, but our taste is such that instead of, like me, I would choose rather to take plantain with kontomire than to go and buy the perfume rice that has been brought from Thailand.
In fact,
you see,
it's taste. It's a question of taste.
Is it
in fact,
or is
in fact, it's
how
also
expensive it is?
Also, so that is my point. How are we supporting farmers with subsidy so that they'll produce at a competitive price? That if somebody, I always say it here, why do you think we don't import bottled water, much of the bottled water that we drink? Why? Because they are producing at levels that, look, you don't need to import water to drink because the water is available and the price is competitive. Why are we not replicating that into rice production? He says, I actually have a special, I always forget of the name. It's produced in Northern region, particular rice. It is even more than the rice that we import. It's also perfume, Ghana perfume rice, and it's healthier.
And I buy perfume rice from the water region all the time.
Yes.
It's healthier.
It's healthier. It tastes better. And you said it, must also change our taste for foreign goods. In fact, all three of us, the dresses we are wearing today are made in Ghana.
Because Friday. All four of us
are made in Ghana. Mine is sewn. It may look some, but it's sewn here.
But the material was not made here.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
But it is sewn here. At least a tailor sewed it here.
Yeah.
What we are saying, we should change our taste. Look, let's consume what we produce. If we are able to do that, even if the factories produce,
is it because the people don't want to consume, or the people don't have the purchasing power?
You see, you said it, you are talking about a price differential, that the goods that are imported are cheaper than that are produced. So government should be looking at subsidies, because the people are producing cheaply because they are giving heavy subsidies. How are we helping our farmers here to be able to produce to the level that the prices are competitive, so that if somebody is bringing rice from Thailand and the bag of rice is 100 cedis, somebody is even producing in Ghana and it's even 105, I'll prefer buying the 105 in Ghana. But the difference is so huge that the imported one is 100 and the one down in Ghana is 150. Obviously, the person will go for. So we should look at competitive nature of the production that we have in this country. We should support our farmers. We should support our industry to be able to produce competitively, so that we'll be able to also be able to buy. If not, we'll continue this way. Look, no government will reverse this situation. If we continue to have weak fundamentals of our economy, we'll continue to face. That is why I basically supported the planting for food and jobs and then the one district, one factory. But we should do it in a manner that will be effective for all of us.
Ivy?
Yes. So the city is the headache of many people, many people. And I've heard the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority debunking assertions by importers that they peg their duties in dollars. But in the explanation, they ended up explaining the same thing. Nobody has said that when you go to Tema Port, you pay in dollars. No. But the calculation per law is done based on the foreign currency in which you bought whatever you want to clear. So if it's a vehicle that you brought from Europe, how much euros did you use in buying? And when that calculation is done and it's converted to cedis, because the cedi has been dancing downwards, you have to pay much more in cedis. So that's what the cry is about, DPT. It's not about they saying that when you go to Tema Port, they take dollars from you. No. It's because of how weak our cedi is. It's become difficult. You have to pay much more. Now, yes, I agree with how to do that. The fundamentals are weak. Right? Best I see. Yeah, but I disagree with him that as at the point it was said, it was not to undermine those in charge of the system. It was. The vice president said the fundamentals were weak to spite those who were in charge. And that once the fundamentals were weak, the exchange rate was going to expose them.
But it's exposing this current government because
exactly what you said.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
exactly what you said. But yes, I agree.
So it's come back to bite him.
Yeah, I agree that the fundamentals have been weak from day one. See, when I was in school, before I even became conscious, we're told that the most permanent way of strengthening your local currency is to be export dependent rather than import dependent. So produce more in your country, go and sell it outside, get their currency, which is obviously stronger than yours, and that will strengthen yours. Again, when you need their currency to go and import, you have it readily available because you have many things you export to get that currency.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, politicians have always resorted to the lazy man's approach. You know that is? Go to the bond market, borrow $3 billion, keep it at the central bank, and then it shows up the city. And we've done that consistently. So it gave us some semblance of a strong city, some semblance of stability. Now, guess what? We are unable to borrow from the capital market because we are with the IMF. And that's it. The city has broken deal because we are unable to get...
We are unable to arrest.
That's it. We are unable to get cheap dollars, right? And use to support it. Anybody who does economics 101 can do this. Oh, go to the capital market, borrow, and then keep it at the central bank, and your CD is shored up. But that's not what we want.
But do they borrow the money to keep at central bank? They borrow the money.
Now the money is depleted, obviously. So, for instance,
in fact, the money that is borrowed is used for purposes, other things.
Not all of them. Before the dollar is melted.
You don't borrow and keep it. That's the thing.
No, my brother. So, for instance,
you invest it, but because the dollar is in the system.
Hold on. You know that FCDB loan, right?
Yes.
No, the syndicated loan.
Yes.
For cocoa.
Yes.
By the way, our cocoa produce is equally dwindled, and as a result, we are not able to get much more than we used to get.
Yes.
So then, also a shortage of the dollars coming in. But I agree that the dollars that will come in will not just be at the central bank.
Yes.
Some will also be at the domestic banks, right? At the banks in the country, and they will be in circulation. So when you need dollars, obviously, you can readily get the dollars. Now we have so much money in the system, and that's liquidity, cities, and everybody is buying dollars. See, we have people who are uncertain about tomorrow by way of investment, and they are buying dollars.
Lily, it's also due to the speculation. People are
hoarding dollars.
People are on radio. I've heard some professors saying that, oh, it will be worse. It will come. When you tell Ghanaians that way, and they have some this thing, they will continue to go and buy this.
But government has the business of making that a bad business. And this is how you make it a bad business. So people are going to buy dollars, no problem. Find a way of stabilizing the city, and it will be bad business for those who are hoarding dollars and are going to buy. Because we've been told that if you have dollars, go and change it. Because government has rolled out measures that will bring down the rate of the dollars and then send up the rate of the city. Yeah, so government has a responsibility of dealing with it. And I agree that it's in government's interest, it's in everybody's interest to deal with this. Yes, some projections have been made that will hit 18 or hit 20. That's not what I'm looking at. See, it's affecting everybody. There's one sector, finally, that is very affected, and nobody's talking about it. The pharmaceutical sector. They might not be able to restock medicine when they run out of stock.
Yes, because they pay.
Everything they import is in dollars.
Yeah.
And you can't do this to business people who have capital of, say, $10,000. They've gone to stock their drugstore with the $10,000. Now, when they return, they will have to find $15,000. How are they going to get the extra $5,000?
Something that government will have to work.
Let's deal with this.
Wilberforce.
You are an economist.
I'm not an economist. But you know, the truth of the matter is that usually the month of April and May are always difficult times for people who are into this dollar CD importation business. And it's because most of the expatriate firms are closing their accounts. They close their accounts at April, and they are starting a new accounting year, and so they have to repatriate profits and all those kind of things to their parent companies, and so there's a lot of demand. Now notice that every time the dollar is increasing, as against the cedi. What it means is that there's a lot more demand for the dollars, and so those who are trading in it increase the price because demand is higher, and so you make more money. That's what we are experiencing. And usually April and May is always that 2 months space where we experience this kind of increases. Last year it was no different. Of course, last year we had other peculiar situations. I think it was 2022 rather, 2023.
Yes,
there were other issues, but the month of April and May experienced similar situation. There was even occasion for some for the state to the banking sector to close some forex bureau at the Marina Mall or something because they were doing all kinds of speculations, and the national security traced and realized that all those speculations were coming from that particular place. They took away their license and all that kind of thing. So I can understand the space that we are in, which is the month of April and May. So I'm praying for May to end quickly so that we can come to June and have some kind of peace and stability.
But are you foreseeing that the city will appreciate?
Well, so we've seen it before. We we went, I think in 2022, we went up to 16 or thereabout.
It was almost 17.
No, 17.
Yeah, it was 17.
And
it was 17 points. It was almost 18.
And for some reason, we managed to.
It was an exciting moment for some of us.
We managed to come down.
Because when he sent money down, because some of us will have to be sending money home. When he send money home, they
and we managed to come down till I think 11 or 12, where we were, and then sadly we have now risen to I think 15, where we are now. I'm just trying to check on. I usually check on Oanda when I want to see the dollar rate. So it's currently on Oanda is 14.1. So maybe this may be
this interbank.
Yes,
interbank.
Yes, it's 14.1. Forex is
higher,
a bit higher. Okay,
interbank.
so I'm only saying that look, no matter how you look at this, the effect on our importers is strong, and the after effect is that because we are import dependent. When the importers go and bring it, the effect will be on the consuming public,
of course,
who consume the things that are imported.
You buy it higher.
Yes. Now, if we decide that you are fighting these importations, those who ply their trade through importations also have issues with you because you are trying to take away their daily bread. That is how they survive. So there is a clear and present danger.
It's a cyclical.
Yes. There's a clear and present danger. One of the things that we should be looking at is that our top importers, what are the top things that we import? Rice.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sugar.
Yes.
Those top importers, especially those who are in the rice one, which is the major thing, and then our fuel. Of course, even with the fuel.
Wilberforce,
now, yes.
You are talking of rice importers. I always cite this. I like this example of bottled water thing. Look, all the people who are big shops, the wholesalers, they go to the factories and get the water and come and store and distribute to retailers, and we also buy. I am saying that if we are able to produce the rice that we are producing, how can't we replicate that so that all the people who are importing rice will buy from the local market and distribute to us?
So what the point I was going to make is that elsewhere, what happened, for example, the Thailand where we go and import
purchase our rice,
what happened from the little readings I've done is that they were also dependent on other countries,
by all
from
means,
China and all those kind of things.
Every
but
country is
along
dependent.
the line, those who were the top importers decided to take the risk of developing the industry locally. Now, the risk factor is what is the problem. You know, recently, when the Minister for Agriculture held a meeting that the president was in attendance with stakeholders, so he held one with banks, held one with the foreign partners, and held one with, I think, the farmers themselves. Well, one with the banks. It was discovered that for the banks in Ghana, going into agriculture is too risky.
Even ADB that we set up,
So a lot of banks do not give facilities to farmers.
No, it's too risky because also you are going to put a plant, a seed in the ground.
What if it
And
doesn't
you are hoping
germinate?
that it will grow up.
It will
What
grow
if it
up.
doesn't?
So I should give you money to put the seed in the ground, and then
What if we experience droughts and then
yes,
it
and then
doesn't
you are
grow?
praying that it will grow. So if it doesn't grow, the bank says, "What would I do?" Because you have gone to put my money in the ground, and the money didn't come up. So it's too risky for them. But that is where the problem is.
But there's a new system of financing agriculture. I think
know.
the new agric
the
minister started something that is commendable.
But the problem is that the place where you are going to buy the rice in Thailand is as risky as it is here in your country. But they have a system where people are able to take the risk, and they take the risk and monitor it.
Yes, but you see,
And they're able to produce the rice for you to go and buy with your dollars. Yes.
They just don't depend. They don't just depend on banks. So they also depend on government. Because there's so much subsidy coming from their governments to farmers.
Well, yeah, so it is a collaborative effort. That's the reason why the Minister for Food and Agriculture organized the deliberations between stakeholders. The government was there, the external partners were there, the banks were there, the farmers themselves were there. So it's a collaboration. I agree, I understand.
Yeah.
But what I'm just saying is that we need to get to the point where our top importers, like the people they are importing from, the Thailands and all those things, at a point they had to take the decision and say that, Charlie, if we are going to continue this importing, it will not help us. So let's develop locally. So what they did was that probably instead of jumping straight from 0 to 100, maybe they started doing 80-20. 80 in import, 20 local production. Then they increased it to 30-70. They increased it to 40-60. And then 50-50. Then maybe went out to 70-30. And then before you realize, they are doing 80% local, 20% import. And it is more sustainable. So I think that I know Zoom Lion and others have started some local production.
Yes.
So gradually, maybe the plan is there together so that by all means we'll eat rice. I'm sure the four of us here, maybe today,
it's easy to
at least two
I'm
of us.
planning.
Yes, some people are already. So as we are talking now on this TV, some people have rice in front of them. They are eating rice right now in their offices and in their homes.
He mentioned sugar.
Yeah.
Yes, some people are taking tea. They have added sugar.
Ibrahim is a tea addict.
In fact, sugar is something that I want more taxes to be imposed on. I have said it, sugar.
The importation of sugar.
Importation of sugar.
But first, deal with the local production.
Why?
Oh, but people will need
Why?
sugar.
Commander Sugar Factory.
Why? Yeah. No. Why? Why do you need sugar? Sugar that is giving you
No, but you see,
it's too much of sugar.
It's too much. It's the
too much.
Sugar.
You need sugar. You need some amount of sugar in your system.
If you are not able to,
if you are not low sugar level.
Yeah.
Yes, I know people who have diabetes who at some point have low sugar levels and they immediately have to take sugar.
Lily,
yes,
that's not it. Lily, we drink too much.
Even the dietitian to tell you, take in some sugar.
Yes, Lily, we drink sugar in this country. I can tell you for a fact.
we drink.
I don't want to mention some kind of drinks on this show because maybe.
Yeah.
No, that's
and I have not taken those drinks for the past 20 years. Yeah. We drink sugar in this country. And it's causing so much problem in our health sector.
Yeah.
And I think that they are like sugar, tobacco, and all those things.
Yeah. The syntax,
They are the syntax. We should look. It is not enough. We should impose so much. When we get that money, you divert it to other. This renal.
Yeah, the renal
dialysis center. If we get such monies, we'll be able to get money to resource those centers.
Yeah, but Lily, quickly. So the highest we hit by way of depreciation in 2022 was 14.6.
Okay.
So we are at a place we've never been to.
Are you sure?
Yes, here. 2022. Yes, here. You can check. Yes, it's 14.627. That's the highest, and that was recorded on the 20th of November, 28th of November, 2022. That was the highest in 2022. So going to the 150 pesos mark, it's a new. And so, like, I agree with all of them that something ought to be done urgently, by production, by anything that can be done in immediacy to address this.
We cannot continue like this.
Yeah.
Let's quickly touch on Mohammed's proposed fight against Galamsey with the AI. We touch on it briefly. We'll hit 9 and then we're out of here.
Okay, so what's AI? Technology, right? And I remember I was at the, I think, a stakeholders forum held for fighting Galamsey, and government had procured drones to fight Galamsey. And what were the drones going to do? Just go to the Galamsey-prone areas, take pictures, take videos, record whatever is happening, forward it to a center. Somebody is monitoring, or a group of security men are monitoring. You move in. And so when I understand when people hear AI, how it sounds differently. But AI simply means technology, right? So do we need to fight Galamsey? Obviously. Have we lost the fight? Yes, I think we have. We were talking about flooding. Galamsey activities are part of the problems because the ground that is moved, the dirty water that is pushed, the embankment and what have you. For the first time in a very long while, we had water from the eastern region coming to pollute the Wager Dam. We did that story a few years ago because of Galamsey activities. I went to Kumasi recently. It's an eyesore. First, they were hiding the excavators. Oh, now when you go to Engineer, anybody who's going to Kumasi, when you go to Engineer, just look to your left side. The excavators are there. They are working. Right? They are working. And so, do we need to fight Galamsey? Yes. Whatever means to employ that is feasible, let's embrace it. That is it.
Yes, I think, as Ivy said, no, we need to fight Galamsey, fight illegal mining, and any means, whether AI, IB, or any means that we can fight it. Let's embrace it. We'll have to find. It's a promise that he has made, and I'm happy that at least he's moving away from his initial stance, the campaign that he did in 2020. And I just want to read some headlines for you. When he said that I will grant all imprisoned Galamseyers under Akufo-Addo amnesty. So if you are, because the people were in prison because they were doing Galamsey. So if you want to fight Galamsey, why would you be taking those people out of prison? You'll be rather be encouraging them. So I'm happy that he's moving away from this position. That
he appreciates that the environment is destroyed.
Exactly.
And so we must protect it.
I am happy that he's moving away from the new technology. And let's face it, Galamsey is just doing so much harm to this country. Our water bodies are being destroyed. There are diseases all over the place. Our cocoa is affecting production of cocoa and even the quality of cocoa. And cocoa has been able to sustain this country for all these years. And yet the production levels are going down because of Galamsey. So any means that would check Galamsey, I think it should be encouraged. As I said, I am humble. I'm encouraged that my senior brother, John Dramani Mahama, is moving away from his previous stance and now seeing the...
Are you from the Mahama family?
No, I am not. We are from different regions. Our tribes are playmates. And I call him my slave. He calls me his slave. So, so that is it. And he's a good friend. He's a senior friend. Except that these days, things are not like the way she said. So I am encouraged by this. You remember 2020, some NDC members were on the field encouraging Galamseyers to go ahead and do it. You have those videos. So if I have said that we can only fight this Galamsey menace if the two major political parties agree to come together to fight it. If they come together, look, they will be able to solve this problem. But if one government is in power and say that I'm fighting in another one in opposition...
Will we ever get to an era where we have the two major political parties? Yes, we agree we have other political...
But see, the problem...
Agree on something.
Yes.
I'm not sure we'll ever get to that era because
they agree on something.
Oh,
the two major parties. Ex Gratia.
Oh, Massa.
I mean,
and the loans in Parliament. They agree.
No, but Lily, things that directly affect all of us, like Galamsey.
Lily, yes. I think that I have said that we can only fight. I've said it on this platform many times. If one party is fighting it and another party is encouraging it, we will never fight it. If the two main parties come together and say we are going to fight it, you can't just fight it because there are millions
of... But for political expedience,
because you know why? The youth.
But when the party is also fighting it, its members should not be allowed.
You see, that is
you get the point.
That's the point.
So it's a chicken and egg
especially
situation.
when the people who are engaged in it support these two major parties. And therefore, if you are stopping it, there must be another way of supporting them. And that is why I am encouraged with this community mining thing. Look, if we are able to, like other political parties, I am not doing campaign for Vice President Baumia, but he said that, look, and if you look at the Minerals Commission man, CEO, he's talk of geological department that would not being resourced to find minerals for this country. If we are able to resource the geological survey department, they locate where the gold is and everything, then we are able to put our youth, those who are already engaged in it, look, taking them out to be difficult. Find a way of getting them engaged in mining, legal mining, supporting them to do it legally so that we'll move forward. But if you say that you are stopping it without giving them alternative ways of survival, livelihoods, then it becomes a challenge. So as the two parties come together, if they come together, we should be able to solve this problem as a country.
You know, Mr. Mohammed's position on Galamsey in 2020 greatly affected the fight against Galamsey. And it was an election year. So the then President Akufo-Addo was pushing for Galamsey, actually putting his presidency on the line. Then his main opponent in the election was saying, if I come, I will allow you. And the evidence of the election in 2020 shows that most of the people in the Galamsey communities
actually voted
against the MPP, even though traditionally they have voted for the MPP.
Was it not because their excavators were bent?
Well,
we all said
that
don't bend them.
So there were.
I still encourage burning of excavators.
Okay, Vice President says he won't.
So you notice that
I do.
That position where it was like all of us were thinking one direction, but for political advantage, Mr. Mohammed was thinking the other direction. He benefited from it because it constituted in the votes that he got in the 2020 elections. Fast forward 4 years on, it looks like he has seen the impact of Galamsey on our water and water bodies, and natural resources and all that.
It's an encouragement.
And he says that he is now going to join the fight against Galamsey. That is encouraging, but there is also a political cost to it.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Wilberforce Asare is a political editor for Asase Radio.
Editor.
Audu Mama is the managing editor for the Castilian newspaper, and Ibrahim Balasang is the head of political desk here at the IB, and he's also my boss. My name is Lily Mohammed. We are back after this breather. Stay tuned. I've been joined in the studio by two doctors, Dr. Paul Botsu is an internal medicine resident at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and Dr. Daniel Amanu is internal medicine resident at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital as well. Today is World Hypertension Day, and a lot of young people are battling hypertension. What is the leading cause of it? Is it their genetic disposition? Is it the food we eat? Is it our lifestyle? Or is something that we're missing? Good morning, doctors.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We're good. How are you doing too?
I'm also doing very well. All of us here in the studio are doing well. I don't know about their hypertension, hypertensive levels, but I am not doing well in that regard. But I will talk about the day. Why are we recording a lot of hypertensive cases in young people?
So to begin, today's World Hypertensive Day, like you said, and we're using this opportunity to create awareness, especially because there are probably a lot more younger people who are developing hypertension.
But I'm sure for a lot of people, they don't know what being hypertensive is. Maybe you want to give them a bit of education, then we can look at the leading causes.
So just so the entire population is aware, usually people say my BP, my BP, my BP. So blood pressure in itself is not a bad thing. The heart is like a pump station. Waterworks sort of pumping blood to every part of the body, and it requires this blood pressure to do this. But when the levels go beyond a certain limit, so just figure think of a pipeline coming from Wager to your homes, and the pressures that are building up in those pipelines are increasing beyond the levels where it should be. Then it'll start causing problems in your homes, leaks here and there.
Yeah.
So in the same way, that's what happens. So ordinarily, born young, growing up, your blood pressures are working normally, but then something may come in at a particular point in time, and the levels start going beyond what is expected. Usually, we would expect that your blood pressure should ideally be less than 140, less than 90 on the lower side. But when the levels are going above that, then we say you have hypertension. And like you said, a lot of young people are developing these things. And we've come to realize that a major part of it has been the lifestyle changes that we are having. That seems to be a bigger issue for us. Some of it's being the food we are eating. Our diets have changed significantly.
Is it a diet or a taste buds?
I mean, so it's not a single thing you can say is attributing to it. It's multifactorial. But like I said, diet is one big part. The things we drink, alcohol we take, the things that people are smoking, all of it put together are increasing the risk among young people. Our diets have become westernized a lot. We are stressed a lot. We leave home very early to get to work, get home very late, eat very late. What we are eating changes. The things that we are celebrating our lifestyles with on a birthday, ordinarily, people would move to these fast food joints to have a celebration. You pass an examination, you are celebrating in the same manner. You get a promotion at work, you are doing the same thing. And all of these things are contributing to the prevalence of hypertension we have.
So if we are looking at our lifestyle, does the genetic disposition of a person make them very prone to BP or getting hypertensive?
Well, thank you for that question, and good morning to your viewers once again. So, yes, so that risk is there, but our focus more is on risk factors because you're able to modify those risk factors.
Okay.
And that's actually one of the things the campaign is about. There's little you can do about the genetic factors. In fact, there are people that you would say have a higher predisposition, but because they're able to take very good care of themselves all throughout their life, they are 80 and they never developed hypertension.
Oh, really?
So that is very, very important, and that is key. At Greater Accra Regional Hospital this month, we are talking about May, the month of measurement, and you want to know what the figure is. So what are your figures? Because the concern is that hypertension, the first symptom of hypertension is actually no symptom. Most hypertensives will not have any symptom. And when they have a symptom, it's because they are beginning to suffer a complication. So,
but are there really symptoms? Because the only thing you realize is you go to the hospital and then once they check your vitals, say, oh, your BP is high. Oh.
Yes, so the symptoms, when you start having the symptoms, it means that the hypertension is causing bigger problems. So like you're having complications from the hypertension. Okay. You know, sometimes some people would go like, well, I know what happens when the blood pressure goes up. The person says he gets headaches. But that means something really bad is going on. It doesn't have to be like that. So the focus is on checking the figures, knowing your figures. If it's going up, then you need to seek help, see your GP, and then get it checked for you.
But what are the known symptoms of hypertension? Beyond, you mentioned headache, which means that it's gotten to a critical stage. But immediately, how can somebody know that they have hypertension? Beyond going to the hospital facility and during your vital checks, then you realize that, oh, your BP is 160, like me.
All right. Well, thank you for this question. You know, we really get this a lot in clinics, and anytime we do health education, people really want to know the symptoms. But I want to re-emphasize again that instead of looking for symptoms, know your figures. That is the most important thing about hypertension. You must know your figures. Because if you're looking for symptoms, it's really going to be too late.
Okay.
You know, about 30% of all global mortalities are related to cardiovascular diseases. Yes, and this percentage is higher in low middle income countries. And the reason is because people seek health care a bit late.
Yeah.
You know, where there's discrepancy in equities and people may not get the type of health care that suits them. So that is the problem.
People barely do regular checks.
Yes, so that is the problem, and that is one of our main campaign messages this time. But well, someone may have headaches, dizziness, they could get tired too easily. Usually they could just go up their staircase, but now they have to pause and take a breath. And that could be a bad sign that your heart is failing. So we don't really want to wait for those symptoms. Everybody must have that blood pressure checked.
Yeah, you wanted to ask.
So, like my colleague was saying, hypertension, we call it a silent killer.
Yeah.
Silent killer being that for the most early parts or the beginning of everything, you would have no symptom at all. It doesn't tell you anything. But during those periods where you're not getting symptoms, complications already start. And so the first symptom you develop of hypertension means that you're already too late in your management. And we don't want you to get to that stage, because then the problems, once they start, are usually not very reversible. So know your numbers before those symptoms start. And the only way to know your numbers is to have regular checks of your blood pressure. So if you know what your blood pressure is and you're on medications, then it prevents you from getting the complications. But once the complications starts, like you said, then for some people it's the headaches that comes. For other people, you start going blind, and those changes are not reversible. For some people, it's heart failure. And heart failure, so today you are very active. You've been able to wake up from your bed. You can go to Mokola and shop and come. The next time, you struggle to walk to the junction to pick a car. The next time from there, you won't be able to even get out of your bed because you are so breathless. And we really do not want people to get to that stage, because that changes everything. It brings burden to the family. You used to be the breadwinner of your family, but because you can't get out of bed to do any other activity, you are bedbound. Other people who are probably supposed to work will now have to stay at home to care for you. The kids who are probably supposed to go to school will now have to take you for hospital visitations, and we don't want that to happen.
It means that for us as a country, we are actually taking hypertensive very easy. It is actually dangerous.
Very.
It is.
Very.
And research makes us know that between 10 to 30% of Ghanaians have hypertension. So if you go in a room and we pick 10 Ghanaians randomly, you will get
between
about
1 or 3. Between 1 and 3.
1 to 3 will have hypertension. Out of that, less than a quarter know they have hypertension. So many people are walking around without knowing their status. And out of the number the very few that know they have hypertension, less than half are on medication for it. So for some reason, being a religious or cultural, in fact, in our own families, you have members of the families who know they have hypertension, and they don't want to take any medication for some reason.
We're a very religious country.
Exactly. And for those who are taking their medications, very few are reaching target levels on those medications because they are not going for checkup, they are not taking the medications as doctors expect them to take the medication. So we have a big problem on our hands.
At what point do you start taking medication?
Okay.
What level? Okay, so when your BP is this, when your BP is that, at what point do you start taking medication?
Okay, so generally we could say if your blood pressure is somewhere about 120/80, that may be acceptable. But then if you put it in context and look at the person before you, this is someone whose blood pressure used to be 90/70. He knew his figures. And over the past 10 years, that has been his blood pressure. And this same blood pressure comes up to 120/80. So it may be a bit concerning for that particular individual. So that will be focused care. But now, generally, we'll put a figure at 140/90. So any blood pressure more than 140/90, we need to take precaution. But you would agree with me that it will generally move slowly from the 120 up until it gets to the 140. So when it starts going up, even before it gets to 140, there are things that can be done. And that's where usually we deploy the lifestyle modifications. So then we want to look at how you're managing your stress levels, what you are eating, your level of exercise. If you've put on weight, you should lose some weight. Because the studies really do show that if you're able to control your salt intake, if you're able to lose weight, it does affect your blood pressure significantly.
Oh,
so,
really? So reduction of salt intake.
Oh yes, it does. It does.
So does it mean that taking a lot of salt can cause high blood pressure?
Yes, it can cause high blood pressure. Like Danny rightly said in the beginning. So we're looking at the pressure at which the blood travels through the vessels, and this, you have two figures. The one higher up there is usually a bigger figure. That's the systolic blood pressure, and that's looking at the pressure whilst the heart is squeezing. Then the other one is the lower one, the diastolic. That is looking at the resistance within the vessels in between this pumping action. So if the heart is squeezing too much, that can make the blood pressure go up. If the vessels are too stiff, that could make the blood pressure go up. Another factor is if you have too much volume in your system. And studies are beginning to show that amongst blacks, it's one of the reasons why people have high blood pressure. So we are retaining a lot of fluid in our body, and salt is an agent that helps you to retain so much fluid in the body. So reducing your salt intake goes a long way to help you manage your blood pressure. But back to what Danny said, and we really want to emphasize, the figures are important. So just like we'll diagnose you and put somebody on medication, being on medication is not enough. We need to make sure that you are treated to
doesn't
goal.
mean it's just a drop in the ocean, be on medication.
Yes, because medication is just one part of it. Okay. You need to do both medication and lifestyle modification. The two of them go.
Physical
yes. The two go together. And so if someone is on medication, you need to check your blood pressures and be sure whether that medication is working well for you. If it is not working well or it's not getting to target, then we could add another medication, change the medication until you are at target. Because the benefit is not necessarily just being on the medication. The benefit is in changing the figures, changing your values. Is the blood pressure down? Is it to target? So that's very important.
I don't know if this is a misconception. I have had people say that, once your BP is high and you start taking medication, you take it till you die.
Well, very common question. But really, the problem is not why am I taking medication? The first question is, why is the blood pressure high? So that's where your focus has to go to. You see, the medication is some form of solution that is helping to keep the blood pressure down. So we need to take our focus from there. Interestingly, someone will have trouble taking medication like amlodipine daily, but will not have any issue taking some form of herbs. He doesn't know where it's coming from daily, but it's still medication.
Why are you talking to me? I don't have a challenge. Sometimes I forget to take my amlodipines, and then but I don't forget to take my supplements.
So that is a problem. That's a big problem. Because, food is actually a drug. A drug is basically anything you take that makes some changes in your body, that's able to interact with your body. So we have to see it that way. And thankfully, we've been able to, at least the medications are quite profiled. So you know that these are possible side effects. These are possible issues the person may have, or a patient with this particular profile will not benefit from this medication. So you're able to know and at least select a medication that is helpful for the person. Yeah.
But you mentioned lifestyle modification. Yes. Let me take myself, for example. Because of the nature of my job, I sleep less. I sit for long hours. What do I need to do? I mean, for people out there who equally have less sleep, let's say if you live in Kaswa and you have to work here at Ridge, you have to wake up at 2 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m., get to the office before 7 a.m., leave late, get home after 10 p.m., and it's cyclical. Then you get to the office, you're seated for longer periods. What do you need to do?
All right. So, first of all, we should prioritize our health, you see, because in life, that's how things are. Things compete for your attention. You need to prioritize it and agree that this thing is really important. And I have noticed that that's usually the problem. Because, I mean, you feel good, you have no symptoms. So the question is, should I really be concerned about this hypertension? And that is the problem. So this campaign is for us to really pay attention and to know that it is really, really, really important. You must treat it as topmost priority. I mean, if let's take someone working in a bank. He's doing so well. If that person drops on that day, he's going to be replaced. So sometimes it's just not feasible. Sometimes someone has to change his job because of that problem.
Something's got to give.
Yes, so something has to.
Because health is paramount.
Yes, ma'am. So you just need to accept that this is important and this requires attention. Now, soon as that comes into perspective, ideas begin to surge in. And that's how life is, you know. So then you realize that, okay, maybe I should cook something from home and bring to work. Or maybe I should really take my break. Maybe I should have a discussion with my boss about this and this and this and this. So I think the golden thing is to prioritize this. When you take your break,
what do you do? You walk around?
So the studies show that if you can maintain 30 minutes of exercise every day, brisk walking, that should help you. That should go a long way to help you. Well, some are younger and they're a bit more fit, so they can do a bit more physical activity. Some who are not in that level of shape could just do some like aerobics, 30 minutes daily, and that would go a long way to help. So salt intake, for example, if you're really going to reduce your salt intake, is going to help significantly. If you can increase vegetable fruit intake, for example, increasing your potassium goes a long way to decrease your blood pressure in the next 3 months. So you need to be consistent, you need to take it seriously, prioritize it, and it does work. It does work.
And I mean, to add to that, so I will emphasize on the lifestyle changes. So now most of our meals are prepared with canned products. Preservatives used in the canned products are something, a compound we call monosodium glutamate, and that's sodium. So in as much as we are cutting down on the physical salt we are adding to our meals,
we're still getting sodium
from the other places. And we have to be very careful or calculative when we are preparing our meals so that we know how much of what goes into that. Secondly, about medication. So people are very skeptical. Like, if I don't, why should I take medications for the rest of my life? And I always say that you are born as a child. In the early years, you'd never brush your teeth. But you get to a particular age where you start brushing your teeth, and it becomes part of your life. And so we can always train ourselves to add our medications to be part of our lives and find a pattern. If you're going to brush your teeth, which you do regardless every day, then at that same time, once you are done, pick your pill by the side and take. And it's easier that way.
Okay, so it becomes a lifestyle thing.
Exactly. And add it as part of your lifestyle. And that's
what's the theme for this year?
So the theme is to correctly check your blood pressure, control the blood pressure, and then you live long. So we want people to know their blood pressure. If you don't know your blood pressure, that means you've never been checked. Go and get checked. If you are checked, wherever you are, if it's high, you'll be referred to a health facility. And if you need to be started on medications, we'll start you on medications. And then we'll control you on those medications. Like my colleague was saying, we don't have a single agent to treat hypertension. So you can't say, go and drink this and drink it for the rest of your life. There are different formulations. And based on what your build is, in fact, you can have twins, a pair of twins, and they'll be on different medications. So if you come to us, we'll assess you, and based on your risk factors and all of that, we'll put you on medications that will work for you. The other challenge we also have is people going about, oh, I took this medicine. It was very good for me. They told you your blood pressure is high. Take the same medication. And that can be very dangerous if a health professional is not advising that. And so we would ask that, know your blood pressure, check your blood pressure, and then go to the health professionals. We'll decide on which medications to give you, and then we'll monitor you. And when complications are coming, we'll also control the complications. There are also others who have already developed those complications we are concerned about. The major one you would hear about now is kidney failure, dialysis. And that's also a complication of hypertension. And so most of our young people are coming in with kidney failure. Most of our young people are dying of stroke because their BPs are going too high. We don't want to scare people. We just want to pick up the disorder or the hypertension at the early stage and control it so that we don't get to the far end of it.
Okay, docs. Thank you very much. Dr. Paul Botio is internal medicine resident at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and Dr. Daniel Amenu is internal medicine resident also at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. This morning we've been discussing hypertension. It's World Hypertension Day. Go out there and check your status, whether you're hypertensive or not. It is not the end of the world. It can be managed so that you can live longer, like I will live longer. Thank you very much. That's it for Health Alert. Welcome back from that break. Now, if you believe in networking, if you believe in learning, this is for you. Barcamp 2024 is here, but I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what is Barcamp? Well, we'll tell you shortly. My guest this morning, Mame Sewa Bekwing, is marketing lead for Barcamp in Tema. Benedict Isaac is a volunteer for the marketing team, Barcamp Tema. And Nana Kwabna Innocent is a mentor for Barcamp 2024. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Good to have you here.
Good to see you too.
Let me first find out what Barcamp is. If have an idea for camp Africa meeting is for meeting people, networking, and learning new things. Is that what Barcamp is?
Okay, so Barcamp is one of the flagship programs which is run by the Ghana Think Foundation. We have Barcamp in other regions, but our focus for today is Barcamp Tema, which is happening tomorrow.
Okay.
And Barcamp Tema is a one-day forum that brings people together, especially the youth, to learn, to network, to share, and also to be mentored. So basically, that's what happens at Barcamp Tema.
You are a mentor.
Yes.
If I'm coming for Barcamp 2024 in Tema, what am I coming for?
All right. So you are going to get the opportunity to be told the steps that as a young person living in the community, let's say Tema, you'll be getting the opportunity to know how to live your life with respect to your talents that you have gotten. So we get the opportunity to direct you with the talent you have. For example, if you're an IT guy.
I was going to come to the talent. So anybody at all, or you have specific talents?
When you come and you have your talent and you tell us, we try to harness it for you, tell you the opportunities that you have in the future with the talent that you have. So you come to us and then we try and direct you with the path that you have to take with the talent you have.
So it's like helping people shape their career path.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's
what people do you mentor? If I'm a primary school student, GHS, SHS, university, which people do you mentor?
The age brackets here is from between 18 to 35.
18, okay.
35. And so if you fit in 18 to 35 and you have a talent and you want it to be harnessed, definitely this is the opportunity for you to be there.
I think I have a music talent.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Then we'll find someone for you.
So I come in, I have a music talent. What do you do for me?
So first of all, we would have to find out from you first with your music talent. We would find someone that fits the talent that you have, and then we will connect you to the person, and then the person now takes off from there. That is between you and the person, you exchange contact, and then that takes off. So that's what we do.
What's been the success rate of Barcamp so far?
Well, for success rates, everywhere I go, I do set myself as an example because after my first Barcamp in 2016, and then per the mentor I met, we spoke. I expressed my desire to be a graphic designer.
Okay.
And then fast forward, I was linked to an internship opportunity. And then from there, I felt in my way to give back to Barcamp, I do volunteering for them. Yeah, so if you come to the Barcamp and you meet mentors, people that you know can help in your industry, if you don't follow up, you just came for a program.
Oh, so you have to follow up.
Yes.
There are a lot of activities happening, so it's all up to you to, as we said, networking, learning, and sharing of ideas, and also be mentored. So it's up to you to be involved.
So if I have an eating talent,
will
there be a lot of food there?
There will be a lot of food. So we have our breakfast, we have our lunch. Yes, you'll be served with all these things.
And must I pay for it?
No, it's free. It's free. It's really.
So I I don't pay anything.
Just
I come and meet people,
yes.
people that can help shape my career,
yes.
and I get to eat free food as well.
Yes, you get to network.
I like the fact that you're laughing.
You get to
free
network.
Food, yeah, it's good.
You meet like-minded people, youth, just like
young people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so you start from there. So as a way of we getting mentored for you, then because you want to attain something, we work on it for you to, we harness on that talent for you to get to that wherever you want to go. So it's a partnership between you and the mentor.
Ah.
Yeah.
But what precipitated bar camp? Is it the unemployment deficit? Is it the fact that a lot of young people do not know where they're going to? What precipitated bar camp?
I think it's due to the fact that in schools, mostly, they don't really channel your career towards a certain path, especially when they recognize you have a particular talent. And so Barcamp comes in here to note the talents that we have in a particular community. And then we try as much as possible to harness that potential that you have, put you to a direct path where definitely you would find people who have been there before, and then they would train you, tell you the things that are happening there, why you have to be there, what you have to do and not to do in order to get the maximum best of the talent that you have. And so that's where we come in, because this is not happening in our schools where you have the chance to talk to a career personnel who will tell you, okay, you are an IT guy, and so do this, do that. Maybe do security more of the IT, do networking more of the IT, and that will lead you to getting a better job in the future. No, so this is where we as Backup come in, and we do this in all the regions in Ghana.
Okay.
And so
does it mean that for tomorrow, it will be replicated across the regions, or for tomorrow it's centered on Tema?
So tomorrow is Backup Tema.
Okay.
And it's not only limited to people in Tema.
Okay.
So Tema and its environs. So you can be in Accra and attend Backup. But Backup happens in almost all the regions.
Yes.
The 16 regions, it happens in almost all the 16 regions.
Okay.
But tomorrow's one is Backup Tema,
Tema.
which is happening at the Rotary Clubhouse, Committee 5.
Oh, I know that very well.
you know that, okay.
I am a Tema girl.
Oh,
yes.
I am a TM
There you are,
girl.
reference.
TM till casket.
Okay, that's good.
TM for life. TM for life.
TM for life till casket.
Yeah.
So Community 5,
Yes.
Rotary
Club.
Club. Okay. What time does it start?
So we are starting at 9 and we are ending at 3:30 p.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Okay. Do I need any special registration, or I can just walk in?
Okay. So one, if you want to be part of Backup Tema, the first thing you have to do is to follow us on our social media platforms. So when you get there, you can follow us on Facebook, you can follow us on Twitter, that is X, and also the other platform, Instagram. You have to register. Our link is the Eventbrite. When you go there, you can register. So from there, then you are good to go. You are good to come to Backup Tema.
Interesting. So if you are between the ages of 18 and 35, you can come to Backup Tema tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. through till 3 p.m. It's free. Just go to any of their social handles. Go there, register with Eventbrite, and you can have access. But can people register at the gate?
For budgeting sake, we encourage that you register before you come. But you can register when you come in.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming in. But if you believe in networking, if you believe in learning, if you believe that you have a talent that needs to be harnessed, tomorrow is for you. Walk into Barcamp 2024 in Tema, and then your talents will be harnessed. Maybe you could be sitting in my seat next. Who knows? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So I've been speaking to Mami Sewabe Queen. She's marketing lead for Barcamp Tema. Benedict Isaac is a volunteer marketing team, Barcamp Tema. And Nana Kobna Innocent is a mentor for Barcamp Tema 2024.